Welcome to another DJ Wilson STEM class video. So previously I showed you how to create the 90-60-30 triangle using the protractor and using the engineering drawing style. So I taught you, to use the protractor to make the triangle and then use the 1/8 inch to add the thickness of the material that we're using for this particular project. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to build this project. So if you remember from previous instruction, each of these angles is an angle that we made in the mitered and buttered angle project. Okay, so this is a 90-degree angle, so we made the 90-degree angle out of two 45-degree angles and we mitered them together. We glued the mitered ends together. The 30-degree is a butted angle, so we needed two 30-degree angles, and then we butted those up against each other like that. Not the mitered end, but we butted them against each other like that. And then the 60, we needed two 30-degree angles, but the 60 we mitered the ends together. Okay, we attached them mitered. So let's make this triangle. Okay, so we already did our measurements. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our material, and then what we're going to do is we're going to measure out these pieces. So right here it shows I need a piece that's 2.5 inches long. Remember, we use double quotes for inches. So I need a 2.5 inch piece, a 4-inch piece, and a 4 7/8 inch piece. Okay, so let's measure those pieces out. And you all remember the phrase, measure twice. Say it with me, measure twice, cut once. I know you're on the video. Say it with me. Measure twice, cut once. All right, so there's 2.5 inches. So that's that 2.5. Okay. Then for this piece right here, I need a 4-inch piece. So I'm going to put where I just made that mark, I'm going to put that down to 0. And then I'm going to measure out a 4-inch piece. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the last piece I need is this 4 7/8 inch piece. Okay, so I'm going to put that piece down to 0, and I'm going to measure out 4 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 inches. 1/8, 2/8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7/8. Okay, so what do? Measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, cut once. All right, so let's do this. So my first piece I needed was 2.5 inches. So there's 1, 2, 2.5, that's good. Then I needed a 4-inch piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 inches right on the dot. You'll see that. Look at that. Look at that measuring right there. That is some. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. That is some good measuring right there. All right. So then that last piece, 4 7/8, right on the dot. Okay. So now that I measured twice, let's go ahead and cut these pieces. So I'm going to use my timber cutter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the left side of the timber cutter. Because the blade is on the left side, so I can exactly see that the blade is going to cut on the line that I just drew. Okay? So there's my 2.5 inch piece. Now I'm going to cut my 4 inch piece. And then I'm going to cut my 4 7/8 inch piece. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of assemble this like this, okay? Just so we can all see. That looks pretty good, right? Okay. So we know for the 90 degree, I need to cut both of these insides here at 45 degrees. All right. So I'm going to grab my timber cutter. And again, since y'all are watching, those of you that might be using different tools, like using an X-Acto blade to do this, remember, you just use your protractor and you can measure out 45 degrees pretty good. And just cut that on a 45 degree and you should be pretty good, okay? All right. So I have one side to cut at 45 and then the other to cut at 30. So let me grab my trusty timber cutter, slide that underneath. So that's the first 45, right? Because it's gonna go like this. And then I need to cut a 60 degree. I'm sorry, not 60, but a 30 degree angle, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I want the cuts to come this way. Both cuts to be coming like this way and the other cut to be coming in this direction. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put my 30 degrees right here. I'm going to slide this piece underneath. And now I have that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I want to cut this piece now. So I know I have to cut this side at a 30 and I have to cut this side at 30. So that one's pretty easy. So cut both sides of this at 30 degrees. All right. That's looking pretty good there. All right. And then, last and certainly not least, so this angle right here, you remember I needed two 45s, so one angle is going to be 45 and this one is going to be 30. Now check this out, okay? Oops, you zoom out a little bit. So this is going to be at 45 and this angle up here is going to be at 30. So you notice, right, that as I get up here, remember this is going to be a 30 butted, so I might have to trim a little bit more of this material off just so that it's fits in here really nice, okay? So I'm going to cut one end at 45. So I'm going to do that from first. Now I do want you to remember, I am using a timber cutter. Some of you might not be using timber cutters. Some of you might be using X-Acto blades. X-Acto blades, it's okay. You just got to problem solve. Okay? Just got to problem solve. Alright, so there is my triangle. And remember what I was saying, you know, a little piece of this, a little piece of that top part, you might have to end up shaving off to make sure that it fits nice and neat. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. And oh, you know what, you can zoom in. So you see that little part right there? I'm going to grab that, right? And I'm going to cut that line right there. Alright, so what we did is we tried to match up our triangle the best that we could and just made that little mark right there. I'll try and tighten it up a little bit. Okay, you can kind of see it. Alright, so that is my pencil mark. Pretty much just straight in line with this piece right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my timber cutter and I'm going to cut right along that line. And hopefully there is my 90, 60, 30 triangle. So last point of order I would do, get the trusty green glue and I would just pour a little bit out on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, and then I'll dab the ends in. Now one of the things that again I do not want you to do is I don't want you to build directly on your triangle or glue directly on your triangle. I want you to put the pieces together and then after your triangle dries, then you'll pick it up and you'll move it next to your triangle. Alright, so that is your 90, 60, 30. You will create it, and with that, again, hashtag go build something cool. Alright, thanks for watching, and if these videos were a benefit for you, click to subscribe, and again, share it with somebody else. They might find something cool to do with their hands. Alright, deuces, thanks for watching.